Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Bards of Gaming podcast. Just to get in here and do my little half-assed intro as I always do, and hopefully as the episodes go on, there will be a little bit more structure to them. But I just wanted to jump in here real quick and give a couple of quick shout-outs. First one being to my buddy Pat, who I forgot to mention in the last episode's intro, but he also does get a little bit of a shout-out in the episode itself. He was very generous enough to give me a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake special signature collection deck from when they remade the game. So that was a really, really great really great gift, and I really appreciate it. But another quick shout out I just wanted to give to I'm going to butcher your name and I'm so sorry, but Eazanoth. He was actually our first commenter ever for someone who isn't one of my close personal friends. So I really loved his feedback. It was a very, very supportive post, and I very much appreciate him commenting, and I look forward to hearing from any more of you. So yeah, that's very exciting to me, and just, wanted to throw that in there and made me very happy. So yeah, I mean, as I say with every episode, if you have any feedback, good, bad, negative, positive, if you got game recommendations you'd love for me to check out, or episodes you'd love to hear from, shout me out. Send me a message, a DM, or give me a comment wherever. I'm pretty good with checking them. I'm gonna try to respond to every one of them that I get. But yeah, you can find us on Instagram at The Bards of Gaming, or you can find me on Twitter or X, where I'm a little bit less active, but I'm still there sometimes at 2 Bards of Gaming with the number 2. Other than that, you can find me sometimes on Twitch at Robert. So come by if you ever see me on there. I'd love to hang out with you. Right now, I'm not really streaming anything. I've been playing DayZ with some friends of mine. We've been playing on some modded servers and just having a good time. Aside from that, what I've been playing personally, if it hasn't been something for the podcast itself, I've been playing some of the that new game Sengoku Dynasty on Steam. It's actually a lot of fun. And then I'm on my PlayStation. I've been going through the Talos Principle, the first one. So there might be an episode about that coming up, because that's actually a really, really fun puzzle game. I am starting up school again soon. Winter break is coming to an end, so I will be likely a little bit less active, especially on Twitch, but we'll see. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for me to start cranking out episodes again. It's been nice this last month while I haven't had anything going on. But yeah, I mean, with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. Today we're going to be talking about Spider-Man, Marvel's Spider-Man, the 2018 release for the PS4. So I have a new buddy of mine coming in, and I've known him for years, but he's new to this, being a guest on the podcast. And I think he was a really great guest. I mean, very informative about the game and comics in general. He's a big, big fan of the Spider-Man games, and he's probably going to be he's likely going to be a guest for a couple other game franchises coming up, and you'll probably hear which ones if you listen to the rest of the episode. So yeah, with that being said, hope that you guys enjoyed this episode, and leave any feedback you got. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll probably try my best. I will try my best to respond back. So yeah, enjoy. See you in there. And today we're joined with my buddy Parker. How you doing, buddy?
Good, Rob. How are you, man? It's a pleasure being here.
I'm not too bad, dude. It is great to have you. I haven't talked to you in a while.
Dude, yeah, the last time we saw each other in person was 2 or 3 years ago almost, at the Pig Whistle in Andover. Shout out, rest in peace.
Oh, is it gone?
Yeah, dude, my sidebar, my buddy's mom had owned that bar. Her and her husband decided they wanted to move on with life, and they sold off the business. I don't think it's open anymore, honestly.
Oh, man, that's a bummer. They actually had really good food.
Dude, the food, that barbecue food that they functioned out of there was just top tier. Their mozzarella sticks were almost as big as your forearm. It was phenomenal.
I think you and I met up there one time. I think it was during COVID. Yeah, I think it was 2020.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, we sat
Yeah.
outside, sat in the back. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
it was like right when all of the world started to come somewhat back to normal, and
Yup,
they had outdoor seating. And I remember meeting up with you there after I was done skating one day.
that's right. Yeah, dude.
That was fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that
Um,
place was a good spot.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, I'm hyped to have you on the show. I mean, I mean, for anybody who doesn't know, and nobody would know, but like you and I actually went to high school together. That's where we met.
Yes, sir.
I had no idea the entire time we went to school together. I mean, we were buddies, but like I had no idea that you were a video game nerd as well as I.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, like, and I was, because the thing is that I've been more of like the throwback gamer. Like, I never got into online like COD or GTA or Halo for that. Like, I was never like the first person shooters. That's where you lost me because it's
Oh, really?
to me, I don't know, something about not being able to see my character is what threw me off, and so like I just disconnected from all those games. So I would always stay with just story-esque stuff, you know what I mean? But like
Okay.
we had a PlayStation 2 for way longer than we should have. Like we got the PlayStation 3 in 20 like Christmas of our senior year, so right as the PlayStation 4 was coming out. And then I rocked, and that was just like the at-home console. So like, once I moved out for college, I didn't have a gaming console till I bought myself the 4 like 3 years ago.
Yeah. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I think I bought my PS3 like junior year.
Oh,
like,
really? Wow.
Yeah. Because I was growing up, like I was always a Nintendo kid.
Okay.
And then my brother actually saved up his pennies and he bought the first Xbox 360 for the house.
Nice.
So we played on that for a while, and then like a buddy of mine that I went to school with as growing up.
Middle school,
yeah, he's gonna be a guest on a future episode when we cover the game that made me buy the PlayStation, which is Uncharted.
Oh, solid game. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so he was. Oh, shout out to him, by the way. I got to throw this in there. He is also the same one that was very generous enough to give me the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake signature skateboard deck from the special collection.
Yeah, I saw that. Shout out to him. What's your buddy's name?
Pat. Different Pat.
Shout out to other Pat. Hell yeah.
Big shout out to him. That was a sick gift. He texted me one day. I was coming home from where I was driving to work. He's like, yo, when you get a chance, stop by. Because he's also the manager of my local GameStop. So he was like, yo, when you get a chance, stop by. I got a gift for you. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, just stop by. So I did. And that's what he gave me. I lost my shit.
Dope. That's so cool, man.
Yeah, it is. I can't wait to hang that up. But
definitely.
I keep losing track. But yeah, like you were more of a throwback gamer, so you like the third person action adventure games. So I could definitely see you playing games like God of War, a big PlayStation.
Oh, big PlayStation gamer. Yeah, like my go-tos were definitely like the Jak and Daxter games.
Solid.
The couple Spider-Man games that were on like the PlayStation 2. I had like the OG Tobey Maguire Spider-Man games. I had 1 and 2. Yeah, dude. And I loved all the skateboarding games, all of Tony Hawk's Undergrounds, which shout out to your previous episode on that. Phenomenal takes on it.
Thanks, bro. Glad you liked it.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, and then, like once I got the PlayStation 3, dude, I found Skate 3 and just fell in love.
Bro, for Skate 3, I had like 400 hours in that game. Like,
oh yeah, dude, we could probably spend 6 episodes on that game because there's just nothing wrong with it. There really isn't.
I could probably write the iceberg on that game myself. Like, that game is so good. I don't know if you ever got into like the DLC on that game either, but
I might have actually with I remember I'd played it on his Xbox 360 back in the day, and he had tons of DLCs to it, bro. That was insane. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sorry to anybody. We're getting off track here, but we haven't chatted in a while, so this is my show. Whatever, deal with it.
Exactly.
But, dude, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2 back in the day, like for like GameCube, PS2, that game changed my life. Like that game was so fucking good. I had it on GameCube.
Oh, really? Okay. I never got a chance to like get my hands on a GameCube, so I never got to experience the gameplay to that, but it
Dude,
must have been awesome.
GameCube is, in my opinion, it was such an underrated console. I mean, there were so many good games on there. I mean, a lot of the games that were popular in that generation were multi-console, so you could get them on the GameCube, the PlayStation 2 at the same time, whatever.
Right, yeah.
But like, dude, Nintendo games on the GameCube were just phenomenal. Like that's where they had peaked at that point.
Bet. Hell yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, this episode we're going to be talking about Spider-Man 2018.
Oh, Game of the Year, baby! Game of the Year 2018. Yes, sir.
That was God of War.
I thought no, because actually, when I bought it for the PlayStation 4, I bought the Game of the Year edition.
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I remember when I first started this podcast, and you were one of the ones who had reached out to me in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I was like, you could definitely, like, I'll definitely have you on the show. What games do you want to cover? And like right off the bat, you were like Spider-Man.
Right, Spider-Man. Please and thank you. What's that?
No, you go.
I was gonna say, I've always been a huge Spider-Man fan in comics, cartoons, the whole spiel. Spider-Man's, and like having my first name be Parker, like that's go-to number one.
Okay, that's a good point.
Exactly. Like, hi, my name's Parker. Nice to meet you. Oh, like Spider-Man, huh? Like, yeah, sure, if you want to think that, but I almost got pressured into being a Spider-Man fan, and I'm totally cool with it because Spider-Man, by far, in my opinion, is one of the most down-to-earth characters, he was Stan Lee's favorite character over all of the characters he ever created. So, like, big ups to the big man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Yes, sir.
He is, I would say, undoubtedly my favorite superhero as well. At least definitely in the Marvel universe.
Okay.
Hell yeah. I don't really have a lot of love anymore towards DC, but that's the whole, message me your comments and
right. Talk to me later about it.
Yeah, like I like Batman.
Mm-hmm. I mean, who doesn't? Come on.
Yeah. He's just cool.
Listen, personal preference is personal preference. If someone's got a problem with it, that's their problem. You know what I mean?
I mean, like, I love Batman. That's a conversation for another day. I might have you on for the Arkham episodes. That would be
cool. Please and thank you, bro. Please and thank you. Let's talk about Spider-Man, bro.
For sure, dude. Where do we start? Like, this isn't one of those games where, like, I mean, you've listened to my previous episodes. Usually I'll start with, like, hey, how did you find this game? Or, like, what? Like, this game's not that old. It came out in 2018. Like, there's gonna be, like, I'm just gonna throw it out there now. There's gonna be spoilers for this episode. Like, if you've never played the game, go do it. I'll try to save most of my major spoilers towards the end, but like, there's gonna be spoilers in this episode all throughout, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I'll apologize to Rob now, and I'll also apologize to the audience now. If I start saying something, Rob, if you think it's going to be a spoiler that you want to talk about later, just stop me and put a pin, because I can get to rambling because I get excited on things I like. So
that's all right, man. I like the energy. Let's just have fucking fun with this, dude. Let's do it.
Man. Hell yeah.
So I mean, I guess let's start with, like, what do you like about the game? Like, what's, like, one of your favorite things that stands out to you when you think about this game?
Honestly, my, like, let's not compare Spider-Man 1 to Spider-Man 2, obviously, because you definitely don't want to spoil that for another episode, whether it's with me or someone else. So let's just say comparing Spider-Man to whatever previous games that have been, I just love the diversity of the character itself, in the sense that, like, you get how he, like, you can just, in the way the character is portrayed by the voice actor, I don't know, I just feel like he puts so much of a personality on him, and how he sees his city, and how he sees what needs to be taken care of. Like, I love the different suits, and like that's the one aspect, like the amount of suits that they just threw in your face, like, here, you can just look at these and just act pretty with them. You know what I mean? Like, it's that's what sold me right from the get go. It's like, oh my God, I can look like that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but dude, and you know what? You're the beginning of your take right there, like what you just said, like the level of love that Peter Parker in this game has for the city and stuff like that. Like this is the first game where you're really, I don't know, in my opinion, like you really feel like Spider-Man.
Yes, 100%. And like it's not an origin story either. It's you
No.
start out and he's already out of college. He's already got his own spot. He's already working for the Bugle. Like, he's a man that's already been at it a couple of years, so he knows what his day-to-day is supposed to be, and that's to be Spider-Man.
And I
You know
think
what I mean?
I agree with that 100%. I think that was
Yeah.
a really great way to kick off the franchise. Like he already has a job working with Doc Ock. Like he's already got,
Mhm.
like it sets up in the very beginning, the first hour you play of the game, it sets up so much character
Oh, yeah.
development and foreshadowing that like, if you know the Spider-Man universe, like you kind of know where this is
Mhm.
going to go a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And
And even
I got
still,
more I'm going to
dude.
go off on. What's this say?
Yeah, no, yeah, but like even still, like you're saying, with the perfect character development and just foreground in that first hour, like
Yeah.
up until you show up at the front door of the lab and you find out that your boss is Doc Ock, like that was a big jaw drop moment for me, because like that's something I had forgotten as a fan, is that yes, in the comics there was a time where he worked for Otto Octavius before he became Dr. Octopus.
Yeah.
And so like even with tapping that into this Spider-Man 2 Tobey Maguire movie, it blew my hair back. I was like, "Oh, this is going to go in so many different ways."
Yeah, like I did, and oh my god, dude, I did not like. Okay, as soon as I saw Dr. Octavius or Otto Octavius, I knew it was gonna go somewhere
Oh
with
yeah.
his character, obviously. But there's a couple things I didn't expect. I didn't expect us to get the Sinister Six. I didn't
Yeah.
expect us to get, spoiler alert, but like Mr. Lee. I didn't expect when I saw Norman Osborn. First
Yeah.
off, it threw me off to
Oh,
see him as the mayor, but I
yeah.
didn't expect him to not show up, if you know what I'm saying.
Exactly. That's another like story loop that threw me for a loop, is that like there is a comic line where yes, Norman Osborn is mayor of New York City, but he's also the Goblin still, and he in that storyline, spoilers for people who don't know, he comes into hosting the Carnage symbiote. And bro,
Really?
oh yeah, you got to look up that comic issue. I don't know the exact, if it's Amazing Spider-Man or Spectacular or Friendly Neighborhood, whatever, because there's so many. But dude, that whole line where Norman Osborn becomes Red Goblin
Oh
is
shit.
mind blowing. Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
didn't know about
yes,
that.
but this Norman Osborn to me, and like this, and not to be political, but it almost felt Trump-esque. Like in this, because like at that point in time, you don't know who the mayor would be or what kind of mayor of New York City they would show, because if it's not like a base name character that you already know, why would they, how are they going to try and make someone up? So throwing Norman as mayor of New York City, not even a guy trying to run for mayor, the mayor, just it was to me a nice touch.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. And like, I agree, not to get political because I avoid politics at all costs, especially on this podcast.
100%,
But like,
100%.
you make a really good point there when you say like, if they didn't make him the mayor, they would have to
Would have
create
been.
some generic character, and then like if they do that, who were they gonna like? What are they gonna make? But
Exactly, and even
that's a
still,
really good point.
right, and even still, like something like that, like if you don't make it a generic, oh, we already know who this is character, that could have turned the tides on the outcome if it was just some rando character, because then you start worrying about, well, who are we trying to pander to, who are we trying to include, you know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
Keeping a cast of characters that everybody already knows definitely solidifies an overall story,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and for me to come in as like I'm definitely not as big of a fan as you or a couple buddies of mine, and I'm not as knowledgeable on like the Marvel universe. But like I watch the movies. I know a thing or two. I've seen some comics. I played other games. Like, you pick up a thing or two from here. But
right,
as with someone of that, intermediate knowledge of the subject matter, I was able to really get invested in this story. Like, it was very compelling, and I could. The more I played of this game, the more I wanted to uncover.
Yeah,
it was so
100%.
satisfying, and like, dude, the emotional arcs that you have,
Oh
and
my
like
gosh.
the ways that they used each character, like, okay, their implementation and how much they used Norman Osborn, even in this game as a side character.
Yes.
Like,
definitely, because obviously for the audience, if you haven't played Spider-Man 2 yet, clearly Norman plays a big role in the overall story of Spider-Man 2, but that can, like I said,
he definitely gets used more there.
Oh my Lanta. But yes, Norman, dude, this I can never say anything bad about this game ever in my life.
Yeah, I mean, I do have I have a little sheet of notes I wrote down of things that I like and things that I dislike, and the things that I like greatly outweigh the things that I dislike.
Oh, of course. What do you got? Let me hear it.
I'll start with what I don't like so that we can move on to a positive note later. But
definitely,
the first thing I gotta say that I don't like is a thing that I think most people who play this game don't like, and that's the stealth sections.
Yeah, I can agree to that for sure.
I think for what they are, they were done well. They weren't too frustrating. It allowed you to get some more character development and what's the word? Whatever. But like, you got to see more of Mary Jane, and you got to get to know her a little bit better and the way that they use her character. But it felt forced. It felt not unnecessary, because I know how it played a very important role into the story. But like, I just didn't like it. And I love stealth games. I love, Splinter Cell. I love Hitman, whatever. But like, I did not care for those sections.
No, I can agree to that to a point. I mean, in the sense that for character development, it was definitely cool, and that threw me for left field. Once my first playthrough, I'm like, holy shit, we get to play as Mary Jane Watson? Who are these what are these developers thinking?
Bro, Insomniac.
For real. They got something going on with Insomnia, probably. But yeah, you're right. It didn't really have there wasn't the need for it. But the fact that it was there was a decent touch to it, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, I'll say, like, again, no spoilers really implemented, but like the way that I was disappointed again to see the stealth sections in Spider-Man 2. However, I very much more enjoyed why they were there in the second game. It made more sense.
Yeah, without saying anything for spoilers of Spider-Man 2. The Mary Jane sections of missions are insanely badass.
Yeah. They're much better in the second game.
Definitely. Wait, what's next? What's another topic you got?
So the other one that I got, the next dislike I got, 2 out of 3, is the Silver Sable crew.
Yeah.
Didn't like them.
No, dude, honestly, like, to me, they almost felt like generic ass Halo troopers. Like, yeah. Why are we having a militia drop in the middle of New York City right now? Like, come on, we already got gangs running through here. Why you gotta be dropping a militia too?
Yeah, and the way that it felt to me was like, I don't know if you ever played Saints Row 3.
No, I did not. No.
That's another game that I'm going to cover on another episode. But there's you have your generic enemy type in the beginning, and you got your light enemies, your heavy enemies, whatever. And then later in the game, they come in with this militia, and they're a lot harder. They have armor, they have lasers, blah blah blah. It felt like that, and I'm like, dude, like,
what's the need?
Yeah, like, again, it felt like now Silver Sable, I understand, is a comic book character, and to go into a little, or to kind of reference a like that I'm going to talk about later, it does a lot for fan service, which is great. but it felt kind of shoehorned in, like that we needed more difficult enemies, obviously for, scaling and for, difficulty curve purposes, but like, I don't know, I didn't like it.
Yeah, no, and but I mean, it did help the game overall because they did add the DLC later on that included Silver Sable to another point. I don't know if
I did not play.
Yeah, so I won't blow anything on that. Not that the gameplay to it doesn't add any effect other than it's just a couple extra missions, but the cinematics are I enjoyed the cinematics. They play out the story pretty decently to like cap it off on a good note,
Okay.
Yeah, so
I mean, but overall, what did you think of them? Did you like having them in?
Yeah, I did, because I always like a challenge, so just that extra bit of difficulty gets you that little extra bit of playing time, then your response gets a little quicker, those dodges start to look a little cleaner, you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, I like I said, I always like to have a bit of a challenge.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you dislike before I read off my last one?
No, I honestly, like, I can't ever, I don't ever have complaints. Like, if I have a complaint about a game, it's because I found it within the first 20 minutes of playing and I stopped playing afterwards. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I gotcha.
I don't think I'll ever have a complaint about anything I talk about.
That's fair. That's good. I mean, hey, I love the optimism.
At least something, well, there's also the caveat too. I may agree with a disagreement from someone else, but that's also because, okay, I heard it and now I can understand my own feelings.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, man. So what else you got? What's your final shtick?
Well, I mean, those are really my only two real dislikes, because my third one, it's not really like, it's not a dislike. I like them. It's the random crimes. And it's the only reason I put that in there as a quote unquote dislike is only because I got so tired of them so quickly. But like in the beginning of the game, I thought they were fantastic. I loved the only one that I didn't really like was having to stop the car, because in that game it was a little difficult. You could fuck it up pretty easily.
Yeah, 100%. That can definitely, the car chases that have to end with you stopping the car, those can be, and especially if you have it set on a harder difficulty setting, dude. If you're not right on top of that, it'll time you out and say, "Womp womp, you didn't make it."
Yeah, but, I mean, they'll shoot you, and then the button mashing, you're fucked. Exactly.
So yeah, that I can agree to that as well. The random, and see, the one random crime I'm never happy with having to do is the jewelry store robberies, because that's always, there's like 2 or 3 guys that are standing outside as watch, and the rest of the guys are in the store and they break through the window. So like that camera changes as you go into it's just one shot. You can't rotate within the store because you're just looking in the store.
It's funny you say that, because I actually kind of like that one for that reason.
You enjoyed that, really?
I did, yeah.
And I was glad, because I was just playing it through right before we had logged on. So like I ran into one of those, and that pissed me off, because what happened was, as I'm worrying about webbing up one dude that's in the store, I got another guy on blocking, and then out of nowhere, the truck pulls out onto the street, because after a couple guys, a second round will come in, and fuckers were blasting me through that window and got me good. And I was like, God damn it.
Okay, I could definitely see how, like, on a harder difficulty, that would be more of a pain.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think I played it like whatever normal is, like not easy, but the next one up.
Yeah, I love how they name them. I think it's Friendly Neighborhood, Amazing, Spectacular, and then I don't know, something else, but I just love it.
Yeah, that's great.
Hell yeah.
And I will say this though, no matter how much I dislike the worst random crime in this game, they are all still way better than those fucking balloon missions in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 2.
Oh my God, dude, I remember those like it was yesterday, and I'm still feeling that anxiety, like a shiver in my hand. God damn it.
Oh God, I just brought it back for you, didn't I?
Oh God, took me back. All I'm hearing is Creedence Clearwater Revival playing in the background. Like, during my flashback. Oh God.
Yeah, you just hear my balloon, and then all of a sudden you just hear helicopters coming in. Yeah, oh my god.
That's right. Yeah, man. Yeah.
That game, oh my god, I would love to cover that game one day. I would definitely have to replay through that, but there's like a few key moments in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 2 that make me not want to play that ever again.
Oh, I bet, dude. I wish I could remember the outcome to that game. I'm drawing a blank on it so hard.
It's just the movie. I mean, watch the movie and you pretty much get the game.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense because that's all they did marketing wise back in the day. It's like, oh, make them playable.
Yeah, that's just like an example of when they did it right.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right on that comment for sure.
I mean, that game. This is going to be a good transition, but like that game did something really right, like this game did, and that's fan service.
Definitely, dude. The developers said, "What would you want to see?" Literally, probably to the guy next to him, and they said, "Okay, great, let's do that."
Yeah, like what can you think of, especially with like the recent, MCU and everything, like for Spider-Man 2018, like what can you think of to put in the game? And they put it in. Like they had the Chadwick Boseman Memorial, they had the Stan Lee Memorial, they had all the different outfits, the backpacks, the cheeky humor, like the different things, all the things that they added into the game. That's like you were feeding on it. Like
100%, dude. 100%. Like when I honestly I didn't even know about that I think the Chadwick Boseman tribute, spoiler alert, is from Spider-Man 2.
I thought they had it in Spider-Man 1 as well.
No. That's I think.
Was it Miles Morales?
It might be Miles Morales that you're able to do it. They might, because that's still an open server that they I would assume that they throw updates at. So, but yeah, no, that I love the fact that they just have in New York City on that map. You can find Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum.
Yeah.
You can see where Murdoch and Nelson, attorneys at law, practices. If you pay attention hard enough, you can even find the Ghostbusters station house, bro.
Wait, really?
Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, if you just go on Google and type in the address to it on like the Spider-Man map, it'll show you exactly where you got to drop a point, swing over. They don't have like a Ghostbuster. I don't think there's a Ghostbusters sign there, but it's identical building wise, and you know what it looks like.
That's sick.
Yeah. All of the little attention to details are just so nice, and that Avengers Tower is so goddamn beautiful,
dude.
Like I want to see that in the New York City skyline, buddy.
Yeah. Like that would make me happy to drive into the city.
Dude, fucking A, right? Like, just be like, oh, we have watchful protectors looking over us.
I mean, yeah, like the city's destruction might happen a lot more, but it'll be cool.
Right. It'll look cool. They'll look cool doing it, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, I'll be sitting over in Clifton on Route 3 watching it with binoculars, like.
Right. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah, the fucking fan service. And it's like, okay, this is going to be kind of like a throwback nerd moment, but like when I was a kid, like when I was like grade school, like first grade, whatever, I was playing Spider-Man on the Nintendo 64.
Okay.
And like that old Spider-Man game. And it was just called Spider-Man. Like I don't know what else to call it, but it was more popular on the PS1, I think. But like I played that a lot, and that game had a lot of really different villains and cool villains, and the end of that game actually had a Carnage symbiote, Doc Ock.
Really?
Yeah,
that's impressive for a game as early into gaming as that is. That's daring.
Yeah, like the last mission was you running through the ventilation system. From Monster Rock, because it was a Carnage took over Doc Ock. It was crazy.
That's insane.
And like you could beat, like once you knew what you were doing, like any retro game, you could beat that game in like a couple hours.
Oh yeah, just matter of time.
Yeah, and like I actually had that game down so well. Like I would beat because I didn't have the Nintendo was stupid for this, but like I didn't have like the memory card for that game.
Yeah.
So every time I turned it on, I started from the beginning, and I lost all my secret unlockable outfits or whatever. But in that game, every time you beat the game, you unlocked a different Spider-Man outfit.
Oh, and wow, I never knew that.
I remember seeing in that game Scarlet Spider-Man and then like this Metal Spider-Man and like I unlocked these outfits. It blew my mind as like a 6-year-old.
Yeah. Oh, that's and then so cool.
Going into this game and seeing those same or similar outfits.
Yep,
it made me so fucking happy.
Dude, right. It almost brings a tear to your eye of just pure joy. Yeah. It's like, that's exactly what I wanted, and there it is.
Yeah, like I unlocked Scarlet Spider-Man, and I'm like, dude, I thought this was a fever dream. Like,
yo, right? Yeah, and I know the metal one you're talking about where it's like chrome looking, right? And it almost looks like armor. Yeah, I remember seeing that in the comics back like 15 plus years ago. And like when that armor debuted in the comics, it was like early in the comics where like when you see like the comics online now, they look like newspaper. Like it was that old of a comic design. And like I remember falling in love with that. Like, man, that looks badass. Like that looks like something out of like a steampunk dream or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just I love the designs of all the different suits, dude. It just
just dude, for sure. Like everything that they thought to put into this game for fan service, like they nailed it.
Yeah. And speaking of fan service, the detail of needing to use a camera for just anything is that perfect Peter Parker touch, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and like the difference in Spider-Man 1 to Spider-Man 2, like the camera is a lot more useful in Spider-Man 1 for sure, especially because there is a if you don't know this, you know, this is just a spoiler caveat in the game. One of the suit enhancements you can get is a like a tracker almost that'll show quote unquote hidden camera spots. Like after you do the ones that like get you the landmark tokens or whatever, they're secret ones. And after you take a picture of a certain amount of secret ones, other things will unlock, whether it's a suit or an upgrade or you just get an extra skill point.
Yeah, that's sick.
I was like that, definitely.
I mean, do you got anything else you want to throw in for fan service? Anything that you loved? Because otherwise, we're going to take a quick intermission, and we'll cover the rest when we come back.
Yeah, no, I love the game. That's his fan. Like I'm a huge fan, so I could go for days and days on what I love about it. So I think this is a good stopping point by all means.
Yeah, I'll take 5 and we'll be right back.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Welcome back.
Yeah, sorry, but she's got this laptop is property of the lovely New York City Department of Education. So, sidebar, it's not in the greatest condition.
Well,
but we're charging, so we're good to go, buddy.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to make a joke about Spider-Man somehow into that because New York, but hey.
We'll make it work in the next couple of minutes. I bet you will find something.
Yeah, I don't know if you want me to cut that out or not. I say we keep it in.
No, you're good. Keep it.
Yeah,
man.
All right. Well, I mean, to just jump back into it, like,
let's do it.
I got more likes. What do you like?
I loved going back to your comment, I loved the Sinister Six. I loved the attention to detail on the designs of them. I loved how each person, it's not, obviously they all had their own sort of mission on how you had to apprehend them.
Which is great.
It was phenomenal because, and wait, let me just finish that thought by saying, yes, the story, the way it made it seem is, okay, yeah, Spider-Man's going around and grabbing his typical rogue gallery of guys that are always up to no good. But the fact that it all tied back together and how they just showed up on screen all at once was just pure cinematic perfection, I think.
Absolutely.
Dude.
That fight. That was the one at the top of Oscorp Tower, correct?
Yes, top of Oscorp, because that's when Doc Ock is like introduced, like that's when he comes out with the tentacles and all. And going back again to the character design, the round goggles with that green one piece. My inner fangirl was just screaming, dude. I was like, Doc Ock looks so fucking awesome.
Dude, just thinking about that cinematic fight, like that entire chapter, like it's bringing a tear to my eye.
Right, and he more or less says in his own words, "Get the fuck out of my way, Peter." And I was like,
yeah, dude, that's one of the things I have in my notes here is like I have story as a top like. Definitely. And bullet pointed under that is the multiple major antagonists. Yes. Top of that list is Doc Ock. Like, dude.
Oh, has to be. Because that whole and honestly, like, to play hand in hand of the Tobey Maguire movies to the game to real comics, like, yes, I'm a fan. I don't know every goddamn detail to every goddamn character, but I loved that Otto Octavius worked in the prosthetics, the prosthetics industry. I loved that. And that moment, obviously before Norman came and squashed it, but like when they had that moment with that amputee, and oh my God, dude, it made me stop.
Thinking about like this is I'm gonna spoil the hell out of some things right now in the next minute. So if any listeners, if you don't know the game, if you haven't played the game yet, skip ahead like the next 2 minutes. But like starting now. All right. So knowing everything that we know about the character arc and the story development of Otto Octavius in this game, when you leave him screaming after ripping out his neural implant, holy fuck, dude, that like left me like I'm stunned thinking about it now. 5 years later, I'm like
gut wrenching. I know. Oh my God. Like, cause you just feel his pain. Because you saw that glimmer in his eye of, oh my God, it's here. My breakthrough has occurred, and then just nope. See you later.
Yeah, like I would also love to just real quick just give nothing but like an applaud and commend the voice actors for this game and the people who did any of the mocap. Like that scene, masterpiece.
Yep. Oh, 100%. There was just so much emotion just throughout the whole game as a whole. But Otto Octavius really carried that emotion, I feel.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And just keep the likes going. One of my other Sinister Six favorites is the fact that the Scorpion, anything you do with the Scorpion kind of mirrors any of the Scarecrow-esque stuff for the Batman games with the fear toxin, and that I loved because like if you look at it, the Spider-Man 1 and 2 to the Arkham games are very similar in the sense that it's open world. There's open world. You can do multiple things at once. You have the option of something random just for fun, and that fear-esque of, okay, now you're about to get inside your own head, because that's something that you deal with in real life, is that you overthink things and you over-obsess, and that's a perfect touch too.
Yeah, between Gargan and Mr. Negative, like Yeah,
Yes,
for sure. I can definitely see that.
Dude, Martin Lee is a badass. By all accounts, a badass, dude. And his whole story arc and just overall display. That to me is that's a true villain right there. You know what I mean? Because that's someone who's taking his pain and trying to do something about it.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Martin Lee and between the two games, holy shit.
Yes.
I love that man. He is.
Yes.
I mean, just as a character, as a villain, as just, that. Mm-hmm. I didn't know who he was going into this.
Yeah, no, me neither. 100. And I, as a comic book fan over the years, like I've heard of the character Mr. Negative, but like I never looked into it at all. I never dove deep into, okay, who's this and where can I read into him on? You know what I mean? But that was a perfect character. And the whole aspect of him being in charge of the homeless shelters throughout New York City.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like, and that again, that's a true villain because he's got his demons and he tries to do right by himself anyways, you know?
Yeah. When creators make characters so deep, like there are a lot of two-dimensional villains throughout all comic books. Now, this is also coming from somebody who does not know comic books all that well. So, there's a lot of villains out there that I see as two-dimensional that may not be, that have much more depth. But like, you look at the typical, universe of Spider-Man, and at face value, you have like, the Scorpion and Rhino and Vulture. Those are relatively, 2D characters. Like they're villains for the sake of being villains. They have their specialty, whatever. Exactly. That's how I see it. But then you take characters such as Otto Octavius and Mr. Lee, and you do a deep dive into who they are and why they are who they are.
Exactly.
This game, for my money, they reinvented the wheel when it comes to making superhero video games.
100%. You hit that out of the park. I 100% agree, dude. You're right. They knew what characters to pick and how to pull at your heartstrings with those characters.
Yeah. And I will say this too. Batman walked so Spider-Man could run. Like the Arkham games.
Right. Batman grappled so Spider-Man could swing.
Exactly.
Dude.
Spot on.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I loved it. I loved every bit of it. And dude, if we're going to just stay on the overall character and emotion aspect, can we just cry for a moment at all of Aunt May Parker?
Oh my God.
That fucking angel of a human being.
She's the aunt we all needed.
Oh my God, I know. Dude, I know. And like, listen, as a overall movie cinematic comic book fan, listen, if you go to anyone and say, who's your Spider-Man? At least 75% of the world is going to say Tobey Maguire.
At least of our generation, yeah.
Exactly. Our generation, anyone older, everyone's going to say Tobey's my shit. But I'll tell you what, if we're picking Aunt May's off of looks, clearly I'm going Marissa Tomei because am I stupid?
Oh, for sure.
But if I'm going just emotional connection, dude, fucking Sally Fields and Andrew Garfield as her Aunt May, she was that hard-working aunt. She was the one that picked up the fucking slack when the Parkers dipped. And they noticed that and they put that into the game's Aunt May. She's that working broad that has just been busting her hump to make sure that her nephew, i.e. her now son, has everything he needs.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've actually never seen Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.
Oh my gosh, Rob, come on, man.
I know. I'm sorry. I had to.
Oh, buddy, your comments are going to scream now that you just said that,
I would
bro.
fucking love for someone to comment to me. I don't get any yet. I don't know. I want to hear from from anybody listening. Just send me your love. Send me your hate. Send me something. Say hi.
Tell me you love me. But yeah, dude, but you know, we could get on a rant, and I don't want to. But like I said, Aunt May, to me, she's the mom that stepped up. She's the workhorse.
I love what you said though. Like, first off, I love Sally Field. Always have. She's amazing.
How can you not?
Exactly, dude. Like Forrest Gump's mom, Smokey the Bandit. Like, just she has a hell of a career. Love her as an actress.
Her catalog is through the roof.
It's insane. Like, oh, dude. We'll talk movies one day. We should just. I want to start a movie podcast. Maybe I'll have you on there too.
What?
But,
how about you and me just do the movie podcast?
My girlfriend and I might, but you'll definitely be on there.
She gets first dibs. Go for it. But you were saying about Sally.
But yeah, no, like I actually didn't know that she was even Aunt May, and I'm gonna have to go watch those movies specifically now for her. And I'm really glad that you made that point, saying that that's where we get the mirrored, Aunt May from in this game, because like this Aunt May is the perfect depiction of Aunt May, in my opinion.
100%. Yeah, and man, she just whoever the voice actor was who played Aunt May, shout out to you for just sounding like a mom. Like she sounded like a mom who cares, a mom who worries, a mom who's a mom, and that's sometimes what you need in a game. You know what I mean? Like,
I just this. Oh, you said it. Like, this game just hits every emotion.
It can do no wrong, dude. Oh. And and spoilers for people who haven't played, Aunt May's death shook me for about a week. Like, I promise you, I have not been the same since. Like, that was a phenomenal story aspect.
Yeah.
Because it brings Peter to have so much more drive now. Like, you just fucking took my last line of defense. What am I supposed to do? It just, it was.
You saying that actually leads perfectly into like one of the things that I have on for a like too, and that's just the pacing of the game.
Yes, there's nothing too quick.
No. The emotional pacing of every mission and side mission and, character arc and everything that you go through with this game, the pacing of it is just so perfect. Where like, they hit it where it's like, okay, in the beginning, you have this action-packed moment, and then you have some happiness. You're helping out at feast, and then you have some darkness. Something bad happened in the city, and then it's just like, it's this roller coaster that like at the end of the game has you sitting there shooken, like,
right. It's like, dude, my first playthrough until I completely finished it, each time I logged off, like I felt exhausted emotionally, almost that mental physicality of Jesus Christ, like that. Like, could you imagine doing that in one day?
Fuck that.
I sat here for 20 minutes, and now I need to go take a fucking joint break. You know what I mean?
Like, this is one of those games where when you finish, it's like finishing a Netflix series. Like, you need to sit outside on the porch for an hour and just think. You got to sit there with a smoke and just contemplate, okay, what's my next move? Because I don't know what I should do. I can't look anybody in the eye right now.
Yes, 100%, dude. It's that I can't even say anything bad about your statement. The pacing to it is just phenomenal.
Yeah. The amount of foreshadowing they had throughout the game, and then the amount of like, they knew when to pull on your heartstrings, they knew when to make you laugh. It's just like, I don't know, I think it was written so perfectly. And then like, not even like, a big problem I have with a lot of games, and this is kind of a side note, but it kind of leads with the pacing as well, but a big problem I have with a lot of games, especially today, is they have a great story, a well-written story, great compelling characters, but the amount of side shit that they pack in there completely takes you away from the immersion of the main storyline.
100%.
This game doesn't do that. The side content in this game, it's all stuff that's like either while you're on your way to the next mission, you stop and you do some random crimes, and like that's how Spider-Man would do it, you know?
Exactly.
And it's either that or like, you know, it's something that feeds into the rest of the overall storyline. So
yes.
Another thing that I have written as a like for this game is the puzzles, like the Doc Ock puzzles and some of the other side content.
Oh, yeah.
It's all, I mean, I love puzzles. Like, I love puzzle games. And it's all stuff it's not too easy, it's not too hard. And it fits in with the pacing of the rest of the game.
Yes, it definitely does. That's a very good point to add to in saying that it does not nothing takes away from the overall direction of the story. You feel as though, okay, I need to go do this. That's my main story point. But even though I have time to do this, I might as well do this because it still may benefit me in some sort of way. And those puzzles, I personally, I like the litmus paper, the puzzles where you got to match up like the lines to do like to figure out what atoms or what or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was such a cool scientific nerdy touch because like, yes, all it is essentially clicking and pasting and making sure you line up certain things, the that aspect is quote unquote easy, but that's just that extra fanfare touch of Spider-Man is a scientist. Like, he's got an IQ of God knows what. Like, he's clearly one of top in his class at his high school. Like, he's clearly smart and he knows what he's doing, so clearly you do too, you know? Yeah. And it's just,
it makes it so satisfying when you finally do achieve those puzzles.
Does. Yes, 100%. Yeah. And to piggyback on a previous comment, those are almost like the Riddler puzzles in the Batman games.
Yeah.
And that's something I always love too, to just smash mouth on DC for the moment, the fact that they put almost 500 Riddler puzzles in each fucking game makes me want to just jump into traffic, dude.
That's way too much. Like, Arkham Asylum kind of nailed it.
Yes, it had the perfect amount of everything. Whereas here we are, Arkham Knight. I've had that game going since 2018, and I'm at 96% completion because I still have another 200 puzzles to solve. Like, no, I just want my 100% completion, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, if we go off on this, I'm gonna do some fucking raging real quick. Like, seriously. The amount of bloated bullshit. Like, all right, I'm just gonna rage Rob right now, like, for a little bit, because fucking dude. Like, okay, I bought Spider-Man 2 day one, beat it like in a week. It was fantastic, loved it. Same as this game, you know, fucking perfect pacing. Love the puzzles. Like, I'm at like 99% with it right now.
Okay.
But then I also bought, earlier in the year, I bought Hogwarts Legacy day one. Couldn't wait. Could not fucking wait to play that game. Went into it, was very happy at first. Loved the story they started, showing. Loved the combat, loved the visuals, loved everything. But the amount of bloated bullshit side content that they have, not only did, by the time I was to a point where I felt comfortable going back to doing the missions, where I felt leveled up enough and I felt like I had good enough equipment to go and do the main story missions, I had no fucking clue what was going on.
Right.
I completely forgot what was going on in the story. And that's every fucking game like this now. Far Cry. Anything Ubisoft, really. And any Assassin's Creed, any Far Cry game, anything that's like a fucking 300-hour game just completely takes me out of it. And like, as much as I loved The Witcher 3, and that was a great game, I still didn't beat it because of the same fucking problem.
Yeah, it's just that it's overstimulated with puzzles and side stuff that doesn't add to the story sometimes, and it's not worth it.
by the time you get to a point where you're satisfied or you want to take a break from all the side content, you don't know where you are in the story. And that's what this game did right. They didn't put too much in, but they put in just the right amount of challenge and you know, you're compelled to do it.
Definitely.
But you still, it all comes back to arching into the story.
Exactly, dude. And to connect Spider-Man 1 to Spider-Man 2 without spoiling, Howard, the homeless man with the pigeons, talk about a storyline for a side mission, right? Like, Howard's a homie, and it always will be. That's all I gotta say, because I don't want anything else spoiled.
Yeah, we'll bring him up in the Spider-Man 2 episode for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, man.
Dude, that aside from the combat, which I mean, like that's the only like I got left on my list, and the best way I can describe that is just like the Batman games, but better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. And of the combat, I love a perfect dodge, because in like the Batman games, you get a perfect dodge and you get to keep your streak, but like it doesn't overall affect the overall combat. Whereas in Spider-Man, you could be surrounded by 8 guys. You get that little spider sense tip off that, hey, you're about to get hit, and you nail that perfect dodge. You get to web up that guy that almost just hit you. And that's beautiful, because 9 times out of 10, it's that last second dodge where like Peter's doing a dodge just to save his own life, but then he also just throws a thwip at him, and it's just so pretty.
Yeah, dude. The combat in this game, it makes me moist. It is so fucking good. It is so really satisfying.
It really is. I love all the gadgets too, because those make the combat even cooler. Like, sure. I think in Spider-Man 1, I think realistically my favorite gadget is the web bomb, honestly. Yeah. Because if you pay attention to the game, and if you're good enough, dude, if you punch a guy and get him to bounce off a wall, and then you just throw a web bomb at someone else, that guy that just bounced off the wall is still in that stun, and he's going to just get webbed right to the wall. So boom, there's a takedown that you're not even really worrying about, you know? Like, I just loved it. Perfect to me.
I agree 100% with that. And then also like having to, while you're fighting and while you're throwing punches and kicks and doing all this crazy shit, also webbing up enemies while you're in the middle of this fighting. I thought that was just so, like, just continuously tapping the right bumper while you're fighting everybody. It's just, it fucking got me.
Definitely. and even still, just like with the web bomb, you punch a guy into the wall and you hit that trigger enough times, you're just webbing him to the wall. So boom, that's an easy takedown right there.
Yeah. And I know I bashed on the Mary Jane stealth sections, but I gotta say, I loved the Spider-Man stealth sections. I can't get enough of them.
Oh no, they're awesome. I like, cause like, dude, I always, sidebar, being a guy who's got 15 screws medically implanted in his face, I see overall bodily injury a little differently. You know what I mean? Cause like, I got injured pretty seriously. I broke my skull and I lived. So like, I can only imagine what getting hit in the face is gonna feel like. You know what I mean? So like, watching Spider-Man do a perch takedown where you just yank a guy off the floor, smash him into the I-beam, and then just cocoon him up into a ball. Like, every time, my butt puckers a little. It's like, oh my god!
And you gotta, like, dude, do you also ever sit there and wonder, like, right after you do that and he's all webbed up, like, how long before the first responders get this guy down?
Dude, seriously, because that's a perfect question, because then it makes me think into like in Tom Holland's first Spider-Man, when he has that scene with Danny Glover, aka Childish Gambino, and he webs him to the trunk of his car, and he goes, "Oh, so, you have 2 hours till that dissolves." So, like, is that the case overall in the Spider-Man universe? Is his web fluid only good for 2 hours? Is it longer for 2 hours? Is that guy dropping down and breaking his neck because he's still unconscious and can't catch himself? Like, what's going on here, guy?
We need answers to these questions.
Yeah, seriously. And like the bot, like over, like, and the memes have been more current now, especially with Spider-Man 2 coming out. Like, dude, ain't no way Spider-Man is not killing motherfuckers. You can web a guy up and then web that guy and throw him into other people. Like,
you can throw him off of a building.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, it's come on. Where is the? Yes, there's comedic irony, but like, where's the realisticness of it? Come on.
Dude, I'm crying right now.
Let's let him live with that guilt just a little bit. Why don't we?
He doesn't have to live with it. He's not fucking there. He kicks their asses and swings away.
Right. And I would just love to, now that the way you said that, I love how, and especially in Spider-Man 1, he's still, yes, he in the public eye, quote unquote, can be a menace thanks to fucking J. Jonah Jameson. But I always love how after you like finish just a random city crime, Spider-Man will say, "Well, the cops are coming. Might as well get out of here." It's like, dude, come on.
You can help him down a little bit or something.
Exactly, right. At least be like, hey, he was doing about 95 when I stopped him, so at least write him up with the ticket.
Yeah, and like, hey, I might have like crushed that guy's windpipe, but like, he's up 65 feet.
Right.
Facing straight down, but he's webbed up to that I-beam. You might want to get to him.
He may be wheezing out of one lung, but hey, at least one lung's still working. Am I right?
His nose is in the next room, but you know what? At least it's over there. It's
exactly.
The ground's
cold. It's still the same room. Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't say I took them down in the most sanitary environment, but you might want to get to that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man. Yeah, dude.
Oh,
and also, and we haven't, and there's one aspect of the Spider-Man game that we haven't touched yet, which we should, is the gentleman himself, Miles Morales. Yes. I will say, dude, because honestly, I got my PlayStation. I bought it off of, I don't know if you remember, he was 2 grades above us. He dated, yeah. They him and I worked together at the truck shop in Jersey, and I got my PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 4, sorry, off of his sister. So I had already seen gameplay and such about the Spider-Man game before actually playing it. But I had no idea that Miles Morales was going to get tied into the story, let alone that was going to be a setup to an entire extra expansion to the franchise, Oh,
really?
Honestly, like playing through once Miles got introduced into the game, like as the playable character, I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, this is something that I was not expecting. And then just getting to watch his story unfold and finding out that at one point in time during the game, he does get bit by his spider. It gave it that extra touch of perfection to me.
Yeah.
It was because then towards the end, obviously you get to, he's also like involved with you and Mary Jane a little bit. And
that's where the game comes back into perfect foreshadowing.
It really does. It really does. And I honestly, obviously you could make an entire other episode out of it, but the Spider-Man Miles Morales game, to me, it wasn't needed because obviously, we had just gotten the Spider-Man 1 game, but to give us his point of view and to give us his emotional connection to the city, it just, again, adds to perfection because now it's Spider-Man 2 and the duality of you get to be both characters is just by far the best thing to ever come out of video games, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, like Spider-Man 2 was that was a fucking phenomenal game. We'll definitely be
It
doing an episode
really
on
was.
that. When
100%.
when I played Miles Morales, now I didn't finish it. I got to like the very end, but I didn't quite finish it yet.
Right.
I gotta get to that. But when I played it, I was like a little disappointed because I could see why people were saying that it was kind of just a glorified DLC for Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a little bit kind of pointless. I mean, I love Miles Morales, but like, did we really need this game or whatever
Right.
it was? And then once I played Spider-Man 2, I'm like, yeah, we absolutely needed that bridge.
100%, yeah, because it's, they're two completely different people. They grew up differently. They grew up, yes, in the same city, but just in different points in life, obviously. So like, they think differently. So therefore, that just transitions into the design of the gameplay. Like my favorite detail in the difference in characters, and you can see it just as the Miles Morales game to the Spider-Man game, is that when you point and zip as Peter, like I said, he's already been Spider-Man for a couple years, so he's got everything down on lock. He knows his spider sense like the back of his hand. Boom, he's right there. He's got his positioning. But whereas Miles, you point and zip to a spot, and each time you see him catch himself because he doesn't know how to stop yet.
Yeah.
I love that little detail. And even just the big difference of the fact that Miles has these Venom powers that, as a Spider-Man fan, not knowing anything about Miles Morales, that's a curveball that no one would expect. It's just, and that style of gameplay of incorporating such a intense superpower definitely helped Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
for sure.
That there would not be the same game without it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I 100% agree. Yeah, man. It just like I said, it can do no wrong.
Yeah, I mean, shit.
Yeah,
I've said everything I needed to say.
Yeah, man. We can just revolving door on just fangirling it all night long if we wanted to.
For sure.
Yeah, man.
I mean, with that being said, I don't know. You want to slap a rating on this thing, or?
Dude, I mean, honestly, if I were to give it a 10, if I were to give it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving it that solid 9.5. Because the only thing I can say as to losing that half a point is that I didn't get to play it sooner. You know what I mean? Like that's it. Fair. And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna actually give it the same score, and it's bad podcasting, but I was gonna give it a 9.5 as well because, and the only thing that takes away from the game for me is I didn't really care for the later enemies. What the fuck were they called? The Silver Sables.
Yeah, no, I can understand that because and to add to that, the DLCs are kind of pointless, but the DLCs are there for the cinematic aspect, which is nice.
Yeah. I mean, so them and then the Mary Jane stealth sections are the only thing that take away. But other than that, I mean, I really got to say this game, it's a masterclass in comic book adaptation to video game. It is absolutely phenomenal. If you haven't played it, I recommend you play it. Even if you have a passing interest in Marvel or superheroes, whatever, it's just fun.
It is certifiably good, clean fun. Yeah. There's nothing against it. Nothing wrong.
But hey, listen, I think that's a great way to wrap it up, and I really appreciate having you on this episode. I had a great time.
Yeah, man. Dude, and I appreciate the time as well, dude. It was phenomenal to talk to you. Phenomenal to talk about something we both love, and I look forward to hopefully coming back.
Hell yeah, bro. You'll be back.
Yeah, bro. For sure.
All right, man. Well, to everybody listening, thanks for tuning in. And if you have any interest in checking us out, I mean, on social medias and whatnot, you can find me on Instagram at The Bards of Gaming or Twitter or X at 2 Bards of Gaming with the number 2. And I occasionally stream over on Twitch at Robert. But anywhere that they can find you, or if you care to stay private, that's fine too.
Dude, I mean, if you want to give me a follow on Instagram, I'm at the loud guy in the room. My PlayStation gamer tag is at the loud_cyborg. My Instagram is mainly just me reposting funny shit on my stories. So if you
Hell
ever
yeah,
want to just bullshit about funny stuff, hit me up.
All right, man. Sounds good.
Hell yeah, Rob.
Appreciate having you on, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, buddy.
All right, later.
Night.